My hair's gross today. Whatever, who cares? Hey guys! Guess who's back? It's me, Emma, Creepwave. This is video number 2. I'm sorry if I'm talking a little quietly. It's because my parents are home and they can hear me, so I'm being really quiet right now because I am too self-aware. Alright, so if you couldn't tell from my first video where I rank 35 vampire movies, I am a big fan of vampires. I always have been, and I always will, frankly. So a part of this hankering for vampires is I think they're hot. I think they're really hot. They do it for me in ways I don't really want to explain. But, I'll explain it as we go along. You'll see why. I started watching vampire movies from a young age. And the first one I ever saw, I think, was Bram Stoker's Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola in 1992. And spoiler alert from my last video, it is my favorite vampire movie ever. I think it's one of the best. The experience of watching vampire movies so young has shaped and molded me so much. To an uncomfortable extent, and I think I have brain rot. My brain is rotted and smooth. There are no ridges, no lines, no bumps. It is smooth and it's bright red because I like vampires. And watching that stuff from a young age was a bad decision. I'm up now. I'm up if you couldn't tell. Well, you'll find out soon. That's why I'm here, because I love vampires. I think they're hot and I want to talk about it. And I found 16 Draculas / Count Orlocks, because they're kind of the same, that I wanted to rank from the least smashable to the most smashable. For this ranking, again, I have chosen vampires, 16 of them, that go by the name Count Dracula or Count Orlok. I'm not including any other vampire variants like the vampires from the Lost Boys or like Jerry Dandridge from Fright Night, because yes, they are vampires, but they're not him. They're not my guy. They're not the OG. They're just not him. Much like the last video, there's no point system. It's just vibes. It's just vibes and how I feel looking at them and watching their movies while I'm ovulating. Hey, I'm ovulating, so I'm a little weird right now. So unfortunately, this is going to reveal way too much about me that I'm sure you guys don't want to know, but I don't care, because I think what the internet needs is the opinion of another white woman. I think that is what's going to set this channel right, Oh yeah, TikTok came back. It was gone for 14 hours. And hey, did I cry on Saturday? Yes, I cried. Of course I cried, because that was the last day. And then I woke up Sunday and it was gone. And then at like 3 p.m. it was back. I was like, oh, okay.
Huh? What? Oh. Okay.
Now I feel stupid. I think all the Americans on this app feel really stupid right now. Anyways, TikTok is back, but I'm still going to be doing this YouTube thing. I think it's fun and I'm bored. I could be putting this effort into getting a new job and working on my resume, but I don't really feel like it. That's boring. Okay? You know what isn't boring? Being horny over vampires, lusting over the undead. So as precaution, this is not going to be me calling like the actors ugly. This isn't entirely based on looks. It's mostly about my TV turned off. All right, let's get into it. And spoilers for all the movies I will be talking about. I will list them in the description below. We're gonna start at number 16. Number 16 might be a hot take. I don't really know. I don't really talk to people, so I don't really know. Number 16 is going to be Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok from Nosferatu 2024. Listen, let's talk about this, right? So first of all, this is not a critique of the movie. I am absolutely insanely in love with this movie. I went to the movie theater twice to watch this. I've never done that before, right? So this movie has a really special place in my heart, and yes, I am obsessed with it, and it's really weird. The thing is, I kind of love how this dude is an apple, right? He is a monster, and that's the point. He's gross and disgusting, and that's the point. I mean, obviously you're gonna see, I do have a preference towards the romantic, human-ish types of Draculas and Orlocks. I mean, who wouldn't? They're hot on purpose, right? But again, love him. Love, 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 love this role in this movie very much. So let's start with some pros, okay? Let's lay down some foundation. So he yearns. This dude yearns. He wants that motherfucking cookie. He wants that cookie, right? He traveled across the sea from Transylvania to Germany. I don't know how that works. I don't really care. To be with Ellen, you know, to renew their contract and essentially be like soulmates, according to him. He's also 6'4", a homeowner, and hung like a horse, right? So, no, he's not. But you know what? This is a big day for Uncut Kings, so shout out to them. This is their representative. This is the representative of their community, right? Also, his mustache, sick as dude. Oh, his mustache is so sick. It's so cool. I love it. At first, I was shocked because, I mean, we didn't know what he was going to look like. All we heard was undead Transylvanian noble, and that's it. That's all we could go off of. I think a lot of us, including me, expected to see a rework of the original Count Orlok, right? Where he looks like a little rat. But yeah, they gave him a sick ass mustache, dude, and he gave him one patch of hair at the top of his head that is really long and it comes down like this, and it's really funny. So yeah, those are the pros. The cons. So obviously, this is a big but. He is literally an undead maggoty corpse. Like that's just a dead body, right? And it's cool because you can see it in his design, you can see it in his body, you hear it in his breath. He's so sick. Oh my god, he's so cool. You know, he is kind of representative of death itself, death and plague. Also, he is symbolic of the sexual repression of usually women in Victorian Puritan society. Like, he is Ellen's desire. He is her carnal desire that is seen as bad according to society around her. And Thomas kind of represents her real romantic love, the thing she wants, while Count Orlok is the thing she actively suppresses, right? Anyways, aside from being like a corpse, he does threaten to kill all of her friends and her husband. Like, he does eventually, like, kill her best friend and her kids. Whoa, and her husband. Even though, you know, everyone, you know, obviously it's Aaron Taylor Johnson and he's hot, but like, Friedrich, y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it. You basically just fall for Aaron Taylor Johnson. You don't understand. You don't understand the depth of his character. I like his character, but all in all, I don't want to smash. I really don't. I know he smells crazy, and I can't deal with that. I'm sensitive to smells, and I will gag and throw up if he's in my presence. So it's going to be a hard pass on him. Bottom of our list, least smashable, Dracula Orlok. Huge props to the stash though, and he did make me laugh with his funny accent. Next. Oh, solid. Alright, next is going to be another Orlok. Oh, I'm sorry. We have the last one's higher up, I swear to you. It is going to be Max Schreck. Max Schreck as Count Orlok from the original 1922 Nosferatu movie, right? So it's hard for me to characterize this Orlok Dracula vampire dude because A, he barely talks, and B, he is more representative of like a force of nature, like as death, as plague. Like, you know, he brings all the rats and he looks like one, right? I was gonna bring out the Funko Pop again, but I can't afford the embarrassment this time around. Also, am I wearing sunglasses at night? Yes. And am I inside? Yes. I don't care. Play that one song. Back to this dude, right? He is still, you know, the typical vampire that is out for death and destruction as a means to his survival and because he's evil, right? He does this by bringing rats and drinking the blood of people, But it is cool because it does introduce the concept of the plague. Usually the original Dracula doesn't really talk about that. So, props. Also, huge props. I didn't know about this until I rewatched it, is that this is the first time that the idea of a vampire disintegrating in sunlight is brought forth. And they do it in a really cute way. It's really clever, and I like it. Again, the movie's old, but I still really like it. I still think it's really fun, and it's scary. Love that. I think the fact that this movie is silent and there's no noise, there's no audio, there's no talking, really adds to the scare factor. At least for me. You know, I'm someone who got scared watching Skinamarink. That's all you need to know. That is all you need to know. This movie also shows, it's not like the first piece of fiction to really set this up, but it starts to portray vampires, Nosferatu, as an oppressive force, right? It is representative of how sexuality was treated in the Victorian era, right? It was so rigid, so Puritan that, like, this wasn't really seen as enjoyment. It wasn't accepted as we see nowadays, especially from women, dude. Women were not meant to be seen or heard. They had to go with a male chaperone. Like, when you walk around, you have to, like, look down. You can't really look at people, can't look at men. And the way they dressed, they were covered head to toe. Like, if they weren't wearing, like, a bonnet, they were practically naked. It's crazy, girl. It's crazy. So this does put forth the idea that the desires, the inner carnal sexuality of women is monstrous. Again, not the first one to really do that. It's something that is brought up in the novel of Bram Stoker's Dracula. And it's not really as evident, but it lays the foundation for movies to build upon it in the future, as we see with the two other Nosferatu films. A lot of that was just talking about the movie and not talking about Count Orlok. Again, like, he looks like a diseased rat, right? He's a little rat guy. He's a little rat.
I think I'd be a wolf.
I think so too.
Wolf-lion hybrid mix. King of the jungle, but still social and with it and ferocious.
I think I have autism. I think I'm undiagnosed. I think I'm neurodivergent. You know, he looks like a rat, a little diseased rat with those funny two front teeth. He's also bald. Ew! But at the same time, he's not riddled with maggots. So that's why I have to place him here at 15. Just a little bit ahead of Count Orlok from 2024. This next one's a little weird. I didn't really know where to put him, but number 14 is going to be Nicolas Cage as Count Dracula from Renfield. So, if you saw my last video, you would know I don't like this movie, like, at all. I think there are some good parts, but overall, I never want to watch this again. I stopped paying attention about halfway through, right? Then I locked in right at the end. Dracula, Nicolas Cage, bisexual king. We love that, right? I mean, I think every iteration of Dracula or Orlok is bisexual in some way. You know, we see with the relationship of Thomas / Jonathan and how he lusts after him. And then we also see it with Mina / Ellen. Anyways, so Dracula, he's bisexual. He definitely is. It's a little more evident in this movie with the way he treats Renfield. Props to the queers. I say that like I swear to God, I am not homophobic. I am queer. In this movie, he slays, okay? Dracula slays in this movie, but like, ew, Nicolas Cage, gross, ew, right? So he kind of plays this like verbally abusive, manipulative, like, asshole that's supposed to be kind of representative of like abusive verbal abuse and emotional abuse in relationships, right? I feel bad. I don't have a lot to say about him because it's mostly just like he's like not hot, but like, what do you want me to say? He's just not hot. However, he slays. He's a little right. He has that really Dracula cape, of course. That's leather. Love that. He also has these like chunky gold rings. I think that's so sick. I love a chunky ring. I love a chunky ring. I think he also wants to in this movie, dude. Like, he meets this mob boss, this woman, and like he like gives her like me eyes, and he like kisses her hand. Oh, also when he bites people, he like sticks his tongue out to bite. He's like it's kind of gross. Like, just poke it back in there. We don't need to go tongue yet. We don't need to go full French kiss yet. And we'll never learn. There was blood kissers. No, there's not much to say. Right before he dies, he yells "Hail Satan," and that's like everything. That's so funny. Like, it reminds me of Long Legs from Long Legs, where the last scene of the movie is him looking at the camera and going, Hail Satan. Are you kidding me? That's the best part of that whole movie. Oh my god. Oh my god. So yeah, Nicolas Cage as Dracula from Renfield is going to be at 14 because he's not really hot. He does slay, but like, not my thing. It's Nick Cage. Gross. He has really pointy teeth. Ick. Next. Oh, I drank that way too fast. I feel like our number 13 spot is going to, can't pronounce his name, Udo Kier, who played Count Dracula in Blood for Dracula. So I couldn't finish this movie. It is very weird. Not in like an artsy, Andy Warhol. Not in that kind of way. It's just like, there's incest, and I hate that. Oh, like, come on. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that all the time. Like, chill out. So, in this movie, Dracula is dying because he ran out of virgin blood in Transylvania. So, he and his servant go out to the Italian countryside to find some Italian virgins, as he calls them. So, thank you, Father. Dinner's in 5 minutes, guys. I'm not attracted to him. He's a handsome man. I think he's I think he's really cool looking. I love his features. I think he's really interesting. He is just this cranky gay man, and I love that. I love it. Oh my god. Like, there's a part where he really doesn't want to leave, by the way. He'd rather die in Transylvania than like move. It's so funny. He's talking about his furniture, or the servant. He's like, oh, we're gonna have to pack up all our furniture and get out of here. And the servant's like, they're not meant to leave the house. And he goes, neither am I. Period. He's just like me for real. Oh my god, he also has a super creepy, like, gray coat that has fur, feathers. Oh my god, it slays so hard. He has a nice hat too. Like, he is so miserable throughout this movie. He's so miserable. Or throughout what I've seen, because I refuse to finish it. He's like struggling. He needs blood, but he looks like he's like constantly shitting himself. It's so funny. I love it. Oh yeah, they find a hotel in Italy, and he like walks in and he looks around. It's this dingy little room. It's not bad. It's this tiny little twin bed, right? And there's a cross on the wall, and he goes, this room is terrible. Period. Period. Like, he's so and he's so bratty, right? And he's like complaining about the vegetables, like, oh, there's too many vegetables and olive oil. Ugh. As if that's not delicious, right? There's also a scene where so Dracula needs the blood of a virgin, or else he's gonna die. So this little girl, like 14-year-old girl, gets hit by a car, and Anton takes a piece of bread and like sops up the blood and gives it to Dracula, and he's delicious. He's sopping it up. He's sucking it out of the bread. Very odd scene that goes on for way too long, but he's sucking on that thing. I was gonna say he can suck blood of another thing, but hey, I'm not a virgin, so I am already out of the I'm already like out. Like, I'm not included in his hit list, his smash list. So realistically, it won't work out. Like, I think he's crazy and I love him, but just not attracted to him. Yeah, so that's why he is number 13 on this list. I just had dinner. It was delicious. So we are on to number 12 on my top 16 Drac Smash. So for number 12, I am going to put Christopher Lee in Count Dracula from 1970. So this is another movie I did not finish because it's weird, and there was a taxidermy standoff that went on for way too long, and I was just mad. I was mad and I couldn't finish it. So I know the person I'm supposed to talk about is Christopher Lee. However, special mention to the guy who played Jonathan Harker because he is really hot. Christopher Lee plays Count Dracula, duh, right? And he's like, alright. This movie is really, really boring. Is it accurate? Yeah. However, it is just so bare bones, so nothing. It is so boring. I don't remember anything. Except that Klaus Kinski, who I will mention later on this list, plays Renfield, and that's really funny. So, the first time we see Count Dracula, he is he is the driver of the stagecoach. I need a reference point. I'm desperately trying to find him. Wow, Christopher Lee is a bird. I'm gonna put that picture in the video. I'm like crying. Oh my god, don't cry. I love that photo. Also, I love that Count Orlok or Count Dracula is always his own stagecoach driver. Like, that's so funny. It's so stupid. I love it. So yeah, he has this really sleigh outfit, and there's a scene of him scaring off wolves, which are played by German shepherds, and the audio, the wolf howling, not wolves, not German shepherds, it is huskies. Christopher Lee, or Count Dracula, has an insane horseshoe mustache. It slays. I love a Dracula with a mustache. I really do, right? And I mean, that's how he looks in the book, so it makes sense. Like he does just like a monologue staring right at the camera, talking about his like family and the how blood of the dragon. Yeah, that was like where I was like, yeah, he's a little bit of a nerd. He's kind of boring, whatever. He's cute though. I mean, this is Christopher Lee we're talking about, right? Throughout the movie, he has this thing where, I guess as he has more victims and drinks more blood, he like Benjamin Button de-ages, right? Like he starts out with white mustache, white hair, and then it goes to like gray speckled hair, like silver daddy, silver fox kind of hair, and then it goes back to like all this black/brown hair. Very cute. He is attractive. I can't help it. Christopher Lee is an attractive man. But I don't know. He wins the I don't give a f war, like immediately. He like instantly reveals to Jonathan Harker that he's a vampire. It's really funny, you know, right to the point. We love that. We love a man who's blunt and right to the point. He's also, yeah, again, bisexual, obviously, dude. Like, there's the scene where the brides of Dracula find Jonathan Harker, and like he has to scare them up and be like, this man belongs to me. Okay, queen. Okay. He also does a funny pose, like right before he turns to a bat, but he goes, "Praise the sun," and he just flies. I don't know. It's really funny. But other than that, you know, I mean, the women are gorgeous in this movie, but we cannot take that into account. It's just kind of a boring movie. I didn't finish it, and I don't care to. It just seemed like another like typical portrayal of Dracula. This is no tea, no shade to Christopher Lee. He does a great job in what he does. It's not his fault that the writers are boring. He's cool, love the mustache, just not obsessed with him. That's why he is at number 12. This one is so stupid. This is so stupid. Oh my god. Number 11 is Adam Sandler as Count Dracula in Hotel Transylvania. Hear me out. Okay, hear me out. I don't like this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. So, I watched, you know, Hotel Transylvania as a kid. Not the other, like, 3 movies, just, like, the first one. Of course, loved it, you know? And, you know, Count Dracula's movies, like, protective dad who just loves his daughter and whose wife died. Love that. He's got lore. He's got trauma. We love that in a man, right? But sometimes we don't, because then they use it against you. Men are gross. I don't know why I put him this high on the list. You know what it is? It's because there's this artist on Twitter who I used to follow. If I'll find them, I'll put their name in the video. They do post NSFW art, by the way, so if you're a minor, don't look at it. Don't look at it. But they draw really, really hot fan art of him, and it's like, I think it's just rewired my brain chemistry to be like attracted to him. Like, you know, he's funny, he's goofy, he's got depth, he's a protective dad. I don't know why. I think it's just I have a weird penchant for older men, and he's included in that. Oh, this is embarrassing. This is so embarrassing, right? But I can't explain much. I think it's just that Twitter artist has put him this high in the list, you know? I don't think he's unattractive. He's just alright, you know? Like, I've had a couple shots. Smash. Yeah, so... But shout out Adam Sandler. We're from the same home state, so that's my guy. Respect to him. So yeah, that's why I can't really explain this very much. This is just an inexplicable placement. I debated rewatching the movie, but I just couldn't do it. My intentions were not pure, so I couldn't watch it. I will rewatch it soon though. Alright, so that's why Adam Sandler as Count Dracula from Hotel Transylvania is number 11. This is another weird one. Alright, so number 10, right? Is going to be the actor Javier Botet. I'm really sorry. As Count Dracula from the last Voyage of the Demeter. So, I don't have notes on this, man. I didn't like the movie, and I didn't want to rewatch it. However, and so it's a weird placement. However, Dracula throughout this entire movie is like in his like really gross bat form. So a little icky looking, a little gross. Smash. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I can't explain why I put the gross bat version of Dracula, who probably has 5 minutes of screen time, above Christopher Lee. I don't know, and I can't explain myself. What do you want from me? I also don't have a lot of notes on this one. I'm so sorry. I am so unprofessional. This is going to be... Alright, number 9 is going to be Dominic Purcell, who plays Dracula in Blade Trilogy. The third Blade movie, whatever it's called. So, I really like the first 2 Blade movies. I was so obsessed with them, and they hold a special place in my heart. You know, I think I tried watching it all one night, and I got just bored and tired by the third movie, so I stopped watching like halfway through. Also, why is Ryan Reynolds in that movie? Ew, get that man away from me. Everyone says he's hot, but I don't see it. I've never seen it. Whatever, right? But yeah, Dominic Purcell, this is where there's a common theme that will show up again, is, as a personal thing, I don't like men that are really hot. Like, perfect hot. You know what I mean? Like, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Ian Somerhalder, that guy who was in a vampire show. The guy who plays the guy in that in Divergent 4, the guy who plays 4 in Divergent, don't know his name. Cause like they're all really hot, but like that makes them like boring looking. You know what I mean? Like at least have some cool feature about you that puts you out from the rest of everyone else. Like your face is hot, yes. What else? Like that's it. Like Henry Cavill, like they're just hot and it's boring. You know? Like I like when guys have one, I don't want to say ugly because I don't think that's true. Like one discernible feature that makes them stand out that may be like unconventionally attractive. You know, like a man with like a honking nose, a huge fucking nose, right? Like that's hot. Love a huge nose. What Doja Cat said. You know, like they have something about them that makes them stand out. Right? So Dominic Purcell kind of falls under this category. Let me look at pictures of him to confirm this. Is that what he turns into? What? And he turns... Whoa, wait. He turns into like a demon. I'm blushing. The demon version of him, like the demonic vampire version of him, is so hot, actually. Damn, I should have finished this movie. Oof.
I have problems.
Yeah, he's just like normal hot. He's just like, you see him walking down the street and you're like, yeah, he's hot. That's a hot guy. That's it. He's just really normal hot. And that's not my thing, you know? Again, I wish I had more to say. I just don't remember anything about him from this movie, and I don't feel like rewatching it right now. He's hot, too hot for me, and that's why Dominic Purcell is number 9 on my Drac Smash list. Right. Jesus. Alright. My door is not closed. That's embarrassing. So, number 8 is going to go to Klaus Kinski, who plays Count Orlocks in the 1979 Nosferatu the Vampyre. So I love this movie. I think it is... I thought I was gonna burp. So I think it's a really cool adaptation of the Nosferatu movie, right? It's artsy and beautiful, and it's a lot more sad and tragic. I think you can just get that. I almost threw up. Holy. It's a lot more sad and tragic, and there's a lot more conveyed through it, like a lot of emotions and a lot more plot devices, which I think comes naturally as we came out of the silent film era. You know, you could only do so much when there was no sound. But this movie tugs at my heartstrings. Like, it makes me sad, and it makes me, like, really feel for him. You know? Like, he's just like me for real. He's just like me for real. Like, he is death incarnate. And yes, he looks like a rat, okay? But it's okay. It's okay. He's sad as fuck, right? And Isabella Johnny's super gorgeous in this movie. I can't rank her, obviously. It shouldn't affect the list, but she's gorgeous and I can't help it. Orlock in this movie, he is facing a certain conundrum, right? He craves love and affection just like a human would. He wants what we all have. But at the same time, he cannot deny his nature. He has no choice but to destroy and to spread disease like a rat.
You gotta be a wolf.
And he brings his plague, and the second he finds a woman, Ellen or Mina, I forgot, they like did the name change in this movie. Isabel. He finds her, and she is just as alluring to him as he is to her, right? Like, they have that pull towards each other, this spiritual pull. He finds her, and he can't help but drink her blood. I don't know why, but I find him a little attractive. I don't know what it is. I don't know. This shouldn't be surprising when I was just talking about how I found the bat creature attractive, but it is what it is, right? He provides such an emotional character for me that I find relatable and sad, that I can't help but be attracted to him. He's alluring, he's magnetic. Kind of like how Count Orlok from Nosferatu 2024 is. Like, he's not just attractive, but he's alluring. Like, he's magnetic. I want to know more about him. That's how I feel towards Klaus Kinski's Count Dracula. I said Orlok, but I think he calls himself Count Dracula in this movie. It's so weird. I don't know. But yeah, he also talks more than his 1922 counterpart, and it gives more depth to his character. I highly recommend this movie. I love this movie. It's a favorite of mine. Makes me so sad. It's so sad. I love it. I love sad. That's why I put him at number 8, because he's a little gross looking, but I still find him hot. And there's just so much more character to him. There's so much more humanity in him. Except at the end of the day, he is gross. He is a little gross, but that's okay. That's okay. We love that. We love men who are gross. Anyways, Klaus Kinski as Count Dracula in Nosferatu the Vampyre from 1979 is my number 8 choice. I'm gonna film the rest of this tomorrow because I'm tired. So I will catch you when I'm more willing to talk about these undead hotties. Hey y'all, I'm back. So I don't know what obsessed me when I was getting ready today. You know, I didn't know what to wear, so I was like, I'm gonna bust out the Ethel Cain prairie dress. Got my crosses. I feel pretty slay with my insane makeup. I don't know what's wrong with me. If you say, Emma, you're wearing crosses and a rosary, isn't that disrespectful to the church? Yes, that's the point. Yes, I'm doing it on purpose. Thank you very much. Given what's going on in the world today, I feel like it is right for me to be disrespecting higher powers and the people who essentially run this hellscape of a country. So I'm going to pick right back up with our number 7 spot on the Drac Smash list, which is going to be Christopher Lee in The Horror of Dracula. So again, this movie is kind of just another retelling of Bram Stoker's Dracula, the novel. And it's good. I really enjoyed it. It's not my favorite, I'd say. It was a little boring, but that's alright, because you know what? Hide the feet. Because Christopher Lee is hot in this movie, right? Like, he was alright. in Count Dracula. But this one, he's pretty fine. I'd say he's pretty fine. His cape is super sick, like that red lining is so gorgeous. And I mean, Christopher Lee is a handsome man in general, like, period. But there's this one part in this movie where I think he's like seducing, I think it was Lucy, and like he does this thing where he like basically like rubs his nose and rubs his like, oh my god, I'm embarrassed, rubs his like face on her a little bit before he like makes out with her and bites her, and I was like that's supposed to be me, guys, don't you understand? That's supposed to be me. This world is cruel. I need my vampire boyfriend or girlfriend or partner. I don't discriminate. So other than that, I don't really have much to say for this number 7 entry. I just think he's a handsome guy, and I think he's really cute, and he made me feel things when I was watching the movie. Also, it's a decent movie. Number 6. You know, I had to put him semi-high up on this list. Like, I had to. Come on, guys. It's Bela Lugosi in Dracula from 1931. Like, he's an OG. How could I not rank him high? Like, come on. Come on, y'all. So, we all know Bela Lugosi, a very handsome man. He makes a very, I have a bust at him that's, like, staring at me right now from fucking Michaels. So, you know, he's a very handsome man. They do opt out on the mustache, which is fine, you know? I love his hair. He creates such a haunting, daunting, figure, and he mobs people to death, and I think that's really funny. Like, someone will be talking, then it cuts to, like, the light is in his eyes, and he goes, and then they, like, pass out or die, and it's really funny. It's probably my favorite part of the movie. I mean, Bela Lugosi's an attractive man. I think he's kind of tall. He is just also very mesmerizing. They casted a good guy for this. He's very mesmerizing and alluring, and I see why Mina and Lucy were so quick to fall for him, because of his aura. I can't, like, use that word anymore, because, like, all, like, the 16-year-olds on TikTok made it, like, really annoying. But, like, it's his aura, his essence. There's something about him that makes you, like, drawn to him. And I love his accent. He's very charming, and he's very polite, and he's a little scary, and I love that, and that makes him attractive. So that's why Bela Lugosi is number 6. Hide the feet, hide the feet. Next up, we're in our top 5. Ooh, 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 ooh. So, for the spot number 5 is going to be Luke Evans as Dracula in Dracula Untold. So, Luke Evans, like, hotness aside, this movie sucks, and I hate it. It made me mad. I don't know why. It just wasn't even, like, entertaining. I think I was just angry watching it. I was like, this, like, there's so much potential. It could be so cool, and it wasn't. You know? He didn't even have a mustache. They're trying to tell the untold story of Dracula and didn't even have a mustache. You know, there's the war going on. He's trying to save his kid from being conscripted to go fight, I think. And, you know, there's this legend of this creature in this cave, and he goes and investigates, and he somehow turned into a vampire. Like, he's supposed to resist the urge to, like, drink blood, but he finally gives in, obviously, and turns into a vampire. And then when his wife almost dies, he doesn't turn her. I don't know. It's weird. You know, they fight a weird vampire war, and he dies. But, of course, he doesn't die. He gets brought back to life, and even though his wife and kid die, he comes back and appears in, like, the modern world, and he finds his reincarnated wife, and also the vampire that turned him, who looks more like Count Orlocks. He's, like, following him. He's, like, found him. I don't know. It's a whole thing. There was essentially sequel bait, and there was going to be a sequel. However, it was canceled because they didn't get enough money or support from the first movie. Rightfully so, because it sucked. Okay? Damn. However, Luke Evans is very hot. That is the hottest gay man I've ever seen in my whole life. The second I saw him as the Bard in Hobbit Desolation of Smaug, done. Are you kidding me? There's so many hot people in The Hobbit. Say what you will about the movies, there's a lot of hot people. Love it. Oh, he does a good job. He's so hot. He is so fine. And, of course, I prefer him with longer hair, but, like, he has nice, like, waves. Like, medium-length waves, and he's super muscular, and he really loves his wife and really loves his kid, and I think that is really attractive. Like, it's Luke Evans. Are you kidding me? He's Gaston. When I was younger, I used to have a crush on Gaston, and now, you know, Luke Evans is really hot, right? He's teeters on that, like, oh, he's almost too hot, where it's like, I don't really like him anymore. But, however, like, I hold him close to my heart. I hold him close to my heart. So, Luke Evans, Dracula Untold is number 5. Alright, number 4. This movie. I can't say I didn't enjoy it, but, like, I don't know what was going on. Wes Craven was on crack. Okay, so, number 4 is Gerard Butler as Count Dracula in Dracula 2000. Oh, what a weird movie. This plot, it's something, you know. Van Helsing is essentially a vampire, or he lives forever. It's weird. It's a whole thing, right? He uses leeches. Something with leeches. So he has Dracula, like, locked away in, like, a vault, essentially. He gets out because people steal his body, and then he basically crash lands in New Orleans, and while he's there, he hunts down Van Helsing's daughter, who, because Dracula somehow turned Van Helsing kind of into a vampire, and then he had his daughter Mary afterwards, she has his blood. So Dracula, Gerard Butler, is trying to find her because, you know, they're basically the same. They have the same blood. Weird. And this whole movie has weird, like, listen, I'm not the biggest fan of religion, especially Christianity. However, they do it real cringe. It's real cringe with the way this guy is trying to, like, fight Dracula, and he holds a Bible open to him and thinking it'd do something. And he looks at it and he goes, propaganda. Oh my, oh, that's like the Amazing Atheist wrote a movie. Okay, but this weird, like, Bible hating, this anti-Christian thing he has is for a reason. Because, hey, he's actually Judas, and his existence relies on the ancient myth that Judas was the first vampire. I was gagged, blown away. I was, like, crying because I was, like, laughing so hard. I was so taken aback. I will commend Wes Craven for taking such a bold move. It definitely changes up the usual themes of these Dracula and vampire movies. Itching my boob. Just something crazy, dude. It's crazy. So, Gerard Butler, he's a little haunting in this movie, okay? So he kind of takes, like, 2 different forms. There's one where he's, like, super vampire, and he's, like, looks all coked out. This was 2000, so obviously everyone was coked out. But he's very pale, and he has these bright red eyes, and it's very off-putting. I mean, there are times where he, like, shifts kind of more into his more, like, human form, and he looks, like, normal, and he's very hot. Like, come on, I've had a crush on Gerard Butler since I watched Phantom of the Opera, the Phantom of the Opera movie. He does things to me, man. He changed my life in not a good way. Sorry. Yeah, so when he's not in that weird pale form, he's pretty hot, and he's like, he's got Riz. He was rizzing up Lucy. I think that's her name in this movie. It's the Lucy character, and he's, like, so sexy and seductive. And I was like, like, oh my god. There's, like, a sex scene, and he, like, floats in the air with her, and I was like, oh my god. Freaking out. Someone's trying to save Mary, and he goes, she's my Mary now. Dude, you gotta be kidding me. And he's, like, confessing to her and, like, trying to convince her to turn to a vampire with him. And he's like, everything I am is yours, and all you are is mine. He's so hot. It's pissing me off. He also is a really good kisser. Like, I wish I could. Oh my god, I'm thinking about it. He's really good at kissing. I had no choice but to put Gerard Butler at number 4. Like, come on, guys. Come on, guys. It's Gerard Butler. Are you kidding me? Anyways. Alright, y'all. Into our top 3. So, number 3 is someone I didn't think I was going to put this high. I never seen this movie before, but once I watched it, I got it. Alright, number 3 is Frank Langella I don't remember, as Dracula from Dracula 1979. All right. So first of all, this man is 6'4". It's a little too tall for me, giving my measly 5'1", my despicable goblin-esque height of 5'1". But he's really tall and he's like really like sexy. The whole time he's just trying to seduce Lucy. Her name is Lucy in this movie, but she's Mina, right? And girl, it works. My God. Woo-wee! Like, he can dance. Like, when he first meets them, he like dances with her, and he's so mesmerizing. He has this vibe of like commanding a room once he walks into it. That's what I noticed. That's what I notice about men. This is bad. I'm looking at my notes when I was watching this movie. They're a little crazy. Oh yeah, so there's a night where Lucy was going to be joined by her father, Dr. Seward, to have dinner with him, but Mina's father who's Van Helsing. It's a whole thing. It's so weird. Came to town to see her dead body because Mina died. Okay, that was just a lot of word salad and just throw up, but whatever. So she has dinner with him. He says like a phrase in Romanian to her, and she like laughs and smiles. She's like, "What did you say?" And he goes, "Oh my God, it would be nice to see you smile." Oh boy. Oh goody, goody, goody. Oh goody. Like, it's, oh my God, he's so like smooth. Oh my God. They don't make men like Dracula like this anymore, okay? We need more vampires in real life. Like, all men know nowadays is vape. is vape and hit women and get porn brain. That's it. That's all men know nowadays. And oh my God. There's this one part where you know, him and Lucy, they're making out, right? And he goes to like bite her neck, but something stops him, and he like holds back and stuff, and like, huh? And he like bites her ear instead. God, I've seen what you do for others. Are you kidding me? I was bricked up this whole movie. I was bricked. It was bad. I was freaking out. I want to watch this again. I might rewatch it tonight. I don't know. But yeah, unfortunately he dies. Tragically. But, oof. I don't remember much about the movie other than how attracted I was to him. He was so hot. Oh, I miss him. Like, he's my lover at war. I miss him. I do. I love him. That's why he is number 3. Alright. Our number 2 spot is also from another whack-ass movie that I love. I do. I love it. Everyone hates on it, but I think it's really funny and it's really camp. It's really gorgeous. Number 2 is going to be Richard Roxburgh as Count Dracula from Van Helsing 2004. What a movie. What a movie. It is a trip. It really is. However, I love it. I think it's so fun and the whole cast is hot, so obviously I'm gonna like it. This Dracula. He has long hair. Right? And it's in a low ponytail. Ew! Or like a mid ponytail. It's a little weird, but you know what? Long hair, I don't care. What's funny is that, so Richard Roxburgh also plays the Duke from Moulin Rouge. And even though those are 2 different characters, he'll like talk in his accent, and there's like a smidge, a little hint of the Duke, and it's like, ooh, you know, because the Duke is nasty, right? He gets play. He's got 3 gorgeous brides whom I all love. Verona is my favorite though. Shout out Verona. Also, one of my favorite Ethel Cain songs. Shout out. There's this one scene that it shouldn't be hot, but I think it is because I'm weird. I'm so weird. You can't take me out anywhere, guys. Where I think Victor Frankenstein like stabs him and holds like a blade out to him, but he doesn't care. He's an immortal vampire. He doesn't care about all that. And he like stabs himself and walks closer to him, and I was like, ooh. Like, I watched this movie for the first time when I was pretty young. I forgot what it was, and I've always loved this man. He awakened something in me. He awakened my craving for men with long hair. Sorry. I'm looking at my comments. I want to obey him. He's such a freak. I need to calm down. I don't need to explain myself for the internet. Actually, thank you very much. On the rewatch, I didn't finish the whole movie because I got really tired and I wanted to go to bed. However, the ballroom scene. Oh, the ballroom scene. always stands out in my mind. I'm so obsessed with it. Kate Beckinsale. I forgot the character's name, but he's dancing with her in a ballroom. And he like, oh my god, I need to look it up. Don't cry. Faramir. Okay, I'm gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. You know, he's at the ballroom. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm so embarrassed. You know, he's at the ballroom and he's dancing with her and she's like, oh, you make my skin crawl. And he like, you know, he's behind her and he's like talking down her neck and he's like, this is not all I can do with your skin. He could flay me and I'd thank him. He could flay the skin from my body and I'd ask him to do it again. I gotta keep watching this. Oh my god. Oh, never mind. Ew. Okay, listen, 2004 CGI was not it. However, I do love this movie. Ooh, gosh, okay. If you know the ballroom scene I'm talking about, it's self-explanatory. I don't need to keep talking about it. Okay, number 2, Richard Roxburgh, Dracula Van Helsing. Woo! Zooming through this part, but I'm tired and dinner's sweaty soon. So, number 1. Guys, come on. Were we born yesterday? Were we fucking born yesterday? Number 1, Gary Oldman, Count Dracula, from Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1992, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. He's so fine. Like, oh, I have a Funko Pop of him. I love him. Like, yes, does he have a ass hairline? Yes, it's okay. He can wear a hat. His hat slays. But like, in this movie, he's so romantic and sensual. Like, you can believe that he really loves Mina and he misses his wife. Like, the reason why he becomes a vampire in this movie is that he went off to war and his wife was tricked into thinking that he died, and she was so distraught she herself. But because of that, you know, she's damned by God, and he was so furious. Like, he devoted his whole life, everything, to the church, and in return, he can't even go to the afterlife and find his salvation with his wife. So he stabs a cross, and it starts bleeding, and he drinks it. You know, a normal thing to do. That's fair, valid, and he becomes a vampire, essentially. So, I don't know if this is unpopular opinion, he's hot as an old man, too. Can't help it. He slays. Oh, he slays so hard. Oh my, his hair, sickening, right? Oh, he's so cool, and the way he talks. Oh, I'm so enraptured by him. I love him. I can't help it. He's so sick. Oh, what really gets me about him is that, you know, he loves Mina, and he wants to be with her, but he's so hesitant about allowing her to become a vampire, because he knows she will be damned, and even though she'll live forever with him for the rest of his life, she cannot find salvation. And it's so sad. Like, the scene of her where they're like making out. They're making out, right? And she's like begging him. She's like, please, I want to be what you are. He's like, no, oh, I can't. And then she like seduces him or makes him horny, and then he like cuts his nipple open and she drinks from it. Itchy. It's just, oh man, he wants her. Dude, he wrote her so many letters, and he traveled across the ocean to find her, you know? And the scene, oh my god, the scene where, it makes me sad. This movie makes me cry, like, every time watching it. Where he finds Jonathan Harker's locket, which has, or like, it's a photo of Mina, and he sees it and just starts crying. He's like, do you believe in true love? And it's like, oh, like, it's so sad. That's also why I love him. It's just such a sad, fleshed out character. I don't remember how accurate it is compared to the book, but I love it. I love this specific portrayal of Dracula. Like, yes, Dracula from 1979, Count Dracula, and in the horror of Dracula. Yes, they're all really good, compelling interpretations of this guy, but Gary Oldman puts so much feeling and character and humanity into him. Like, to the point where you're rooting for him. I've been rooting for him. His death, especially by the hands of Mina, is so sad, you know? And right before he dies, God forgives him, you know? And I'm sad. But obviously, Gary Oldman was going to be number one. That movie changed me. And, oh my god. And he has a mustache. Let's hear it for the stash. He's my number one. Alright, everyone. That was my smash list for the Draculas and Count Orlocks. So, real quick, I'm just going to go top to bottom of my rankings super quick. So, 16, Bill Skarsgård, Nosferatu 2024. 15, Max Schreck from Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror. Nicolas Cage, Renfield. Udo Kier from Blood for Dracula. Christopher Lee in Count Dracula. Then Adam Sandler from Hotel Transylvania. Javier Botet in The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Dominic Purcell in Blade Trinity. Klaus Kinski in Nosferatu the Vampyre. Christopher Lee, again, in Horror of Dracula. 6. Bela Lugosi in Dracula from 1931. Luke Evans, Dracula Untold. Gerard Butler, Dracula 2000. Frank Langella, I still don't know how to pronounce his name, from Dracula 1979. Richard Roxburgh as Dracula in Van Helsing from 2004. And number one is Gary Oldman as Count Dracula from Francis Ford Coppola's 1992 Bram Stoker's Dracula. Oh, that was exhausting. I got a lot of my feelings out there. I don't think I want to change it. I'm pretty satisfied with that ranking. Some of the ones in the middle could kind of go anywhere, but I knew what my top 5 had to be. So, that's it. I can't explain myself. Yeah, I'm a little embarrassed, but it's okay, you know? The world needs to know how weird I am, and that's okay. I accept that with open arms. We need more weird girls like me, right? And don't worry, this is just surface level, okay? I'm a little weirder deeper inside. I'm a little weird. You can't even take me anywhere. I'm so crazy. So maybe in the future, I was thinking about doing more rankings. Maybe with female vampires or like non-Dracula, non-Orlock vampires. We'll see. We'll see. So if you agree with my list, comment. And if you don't, still comment. So yeah, like and subscribe if you want. You know, up to you. I don't really mind either way. I do like engagement because I think it's fun. But you do you. You know, my purpose here is not to be famous on YouTube, right? My purpose is to spread this message, this vampire horny message to the masses as Christ did, in spreading his message of being good humans and good neighbors to the people of the world. We're like me and him. We're basically the same. Can you see it? My socials, again, I have a Twitter account. I am not calling it X. I have a Twitter, but same name, Creepwave. And you know what? I do have a TikTok. It's kind of odd, and it's a lot of videos of me crying. It's still, again, it's Creepwave. CR33PWAVE. So check those out if you want. And yeah, thank you for staying with me through this. This was exhausting. Bye.